Okay, imagine this. You have just moved to US and are looking to buy a car, but you don't know what is the best way to go about it, or is it even possible, and how difficult it is to get a car. Before we move on to the video, let me tell you it is very easy to get a used or a new car in US, provided there are certain factors that you cover up first and then it becomes easier. Otherwise, it can be a very hectic process. So today in this video, let's break down everything related to how you can buy a car as an international student in US. What is the process? How do you get started? How do you identify the best car? Where do you identify a good car from? And what are the documentations that are needed before you buy the car and after you buy the car? Let's cover everything in this one video. But hey, before we dive in, I need one little favor from you. If you find this video helpful or you learn anything new from it, make sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up, as it helps the channel grow and keeps me motivated to create more content like this for you guys. Also, there is an entire playlist that I have dedicated to life in US. I'll leave that link in description, so make sure to check that out. There is a lot of good stuff over there and I'm sure you will find some of it very helpful. But okay, enough for the intro. Let's jump right into it. The number one thing that you need to figure out before you go out and buy a car is what things do you need in a car, because this will decide how much your car is going to cost you. Okay, so to give you an example, do you want a sunroof in your car or you are okay without a sunroof? Do you want leather seats or you're okay with the fabric seats? Again, do you want heated and ventilated seats or you just want the regular seats? And then there are even more advanced features like Apple CarPlay and its Google variant as well. I don't remember what it's called. I just googled it and it's called Android Auto. Weird name. But yeah, like I said, you need to decide what features you want in the car, and that's how you will decide the budget and the cars that you want to go for. So in my personal opinion, if you have the budget, then it is fine to go for some of these features, because a car is something that you buy one time and you stick with it for at least a couple of years. So while it is completely your choice, I would say go for a car at least that have heated seats, especially if you're living above the middle part of the US, like above the Virginia line, when winters can get tough, a little bit tough. So at that time, the heated seats are a blessing. Also make sure that your car at least has a backup camera, if not Apple AirPlay. I keep messing this up. If not Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. But if it is your first car, then I would suggest having a budget between $5,000 to $15,000. Again, it depends on which state you are in, but this budget is a good ballpark figure. But a lot of it would depend on your loan, on your savings, on your credit score and everything else. So before moving on to step 2, decide your budget, and then we jump on to how do you find a good car? Okay, so let me tell you some of the most popular places where you can find used cars. If you want to buy a new car, you can go and buy from any dealer. But for used cars, Facebook Marketplace is a really good place. If you want to go with more reputable sites, like there are Carvana, Cars Guru, and so many others. Now, Carvana, Cars Guru usually deal with dealers, so it's going to be pretty straightforward once you talk to them. With Facebook Marketplaces, it is individual sellers who are looking to sell off their old cars. Usually, Facebook Marketplace is going to be cheaper compared to the other options. But then, in this case, you would have to do your due diligence. Let me give you a pro tip over here. Before finalizing any car from anywhere, make sure you check the car's history using the Carfax report. Ask the person or the dealer who's selling the car to give you a Carfax report, because it will highlight all the details about the car's history. Like if it has been any accident, were there any damages or anything of other sort. And these things really matter when you are trying to sell your car in future. So always ask for Carfax report, period. Now let's say you have finalized the car of your dreams and you want to move to the next step, the financing part. What happens over there? So there are 2 things you can do over here. First, pay directly by cash, and it is as simple as it gets. No fuss. But most of us don't have this much amount of cash, and honestly, even if you have, I would suggest don't pay the entire cash amount. Now I'll tell you later on why you should not pay the entire amount in cash. But the second option is taking loan from banks or credit unions. Now credit unions are great because they offer way lower interest rate compared to banks, but banks give out loans easily. So make sure to check out with both of them. So one of the example of credit union would be Digital Federal Credit Union, or DCU. A good interest rate would be between 4 to 7% depending on your state and your credit score. So now this may be true for most of you viewers. A new international student would not have a lot of credit history in this country. So I would advise to build up a little bit of credit history using credit cards and then apply for a loan. It will affect your interest rate. But if you're someone who has a really good credit score, then Yeah, it's all up to you how you negotiate. Now, as I was mentioning before, why is it not advisable to pay the entire amount via cash? First up, you're losing your entire capital. Secondly, if you take a loan, it helps up building your loan history. And let's say you want to settle in this country or you want to buy a home. That time, your loan history would help you get even more better rates. So always go for loans. And also, personally, I feel if you have some sort of loan that you're working towards, it makes you more responsible as a person. Just a thought. Okay, now we know what we want in a car. Where are we getting a car from? We have liked the model and we want this car. We have our finances sorted. What documents do we need before we can actually go and get those keys from the dealer or the person who's selling it? So there are a couple of documents that you need. Number one would be car insurance. So if you're trying to get a car from a dealer, you would need a proof of insurance. And for that, you will need the car model and everything that you have finalized with the dealer and get an insurance. Usually the insurance rates are going to be high for new drivers. So getting a 6-month bundled insurance would be beneficial. And don't worry, once you gain more driving experience, your insurance rates will go down. Also, a pro tip. If you have a friend or family who already has an insurance, getting added to their insurance might even be cheaper. So look if you have someone around that can help you with this. The second document that you would need if you're not paying via cash is the loan approval document. Since we have that sorted in step 3, we should be good over here. So these are the main 2 documents that you would need before you can get your hands on those keys. Now let's come at the last part and one of the most important parts. What do you do after buying the car? First of all, give yourself a pat on your back because you have made a big step. It is a very big step getting a first car in this country as an international student, and I'm proud of you. Now, if you bought this car from a private seller, you would need to take care of the title transfer. You would need to work with them and go to the DMV to have the title transferred. But if you have got the car from a reputed dealer or a big car dealer, then they would take care of all the title transfer and paperwork thing for you. You don't need to go to DMV or get into this fuss. That's an advantage of when you're buying from a dealer. Finally, make sure your car is registered with DMV and you have got the new license plate. This step varies state by state, so make sure to check out the local DMV website. And that's it. Once all of these steps are done, you are a proud owner of a new car, of your first car in this country. And again, give yourself a pat on your back. Now, while I've covered most of the important things in the video, if you have any more questions or something that was left unanswered in this video, make sure to ask those questions in the comments below. Also, if you have any more tips for international students or if you have any recommendations for future video ideas, let me know in the comments as well. I love reading your guys' comments and opinions. And that's it for today's video. But if you found the video helpful and like the content that we make sure to subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up to this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care.